Malachi begins with a challenge: have we not all one Father? Reminding Israel that every believer shares a single divine origin. God's fatherhood over Israel isn't abstract, it's covenantal. He formed them as his treasured people. By marrying pagans or divorcing Jewish spouses, his children were dealing treacherously against one another. Such treachery profaned the covenant their forefathers secured at Sinai, tearing at God-wrought unity. Verse 11 pivots to the concrete sin. Judah's alliances with foreign gods desecrated the sanctuary he loves. Their mixed marriages weren't private choices but public scandals that stained God's holy dwelling. In response, Malachi pronounces a curse: whoever marries a daughter of a foreign god risks being cut off. This cutoff isn't capricious, it's the natural outcome of covenant betrayal under God's justice. Verses 13 to 14 spotlight the hypocrisy. They wept at God's altar yet abused their own wives. Their tears became a mockery, lamenting unanswered prayers while violating marriage vows. The wife of your youth is no mere contract, she's the covenant partner God himself witnessed. Divorce for convenience or conquest flips a sacred pledge into a convenient loophole. Malachi exposes their logic, seeking godly offspring, yet lacking the spirit to honor vows. A remnant of God's spirit, true devotion, would have prevented such faithlessness. Be careful then about your spirit, he admonishes. Guard your inner life, not just your outward acts. The key battlefield is the heart. Covenant loyalty flows from spirit-wrought allegiance. Verse 16 thunders, for I hate divorce, equating wanton separation with violence upon one's garment. Marriage in God's economy is a covering, driven violently away, it becomes an unraveling of covenant. The parallelism makes it clear: betrayal of a spouse is betrayal of divine result. Personal faithlessness bleeds into corporate witness, homes fracture, communities wobble. Yet this is not legalism, it's God's plea for integrity where his reputation is at stake. The structure of the admonition forms a loving reprimand: expose sin, pull to heart that believe. Modern analog, routine devotional time where the divided heart mirrors their superficial worship. God's eyes roam over the earth. V. 17, scanning for faithfulness as well as words of weariness. You have wearied the Lord with your words, he says. No one can snub God's patience indefinitely. Their skepticism, where is the God of justice, unmasks a deeper unbelief in his character. Complaints about prosperity of the wicked echo across centuries. Malachi confronts the saying that he refuses to sugarcoat. Divine justice will visit evildoers, and covenant keepers will be honored. The entire passage flows in a chiastic pattern. Covenant breach exposed motives, covenant called judgment or blessing. Breach, intermarriage and divorce profane God's name. Exposed motives, tears and offerings without true fear of God are meaningless. Covenant call, guard your spirit, honor marriage, reflect father-heart unity. Judgment or blessing, those who despise covenant lose inheritance, faithful souls shine as witnesses. The teaching rests on two poles: God's hatred of breach and his delight in fidelity. Covenant fidelity isn't a burden but an invitation to display God's character in every relationship. Marriage becomes a living metaphor. Our union with Christ must outlast selfish impulses. Guarding your spirit parallels guarding your vows, both demand vigilance and spirit-led power. The sanctuary marriage connection shows that no ministry can outlast broken homes. A faithful household undergirds a faithful church. Walls fall when marriage vows are cheapened. Conversely, godly marriages serve as beacons of God's restful presence in a restless world. Malachi's cry, be careful about your spirit, echoes New Testament calls to guard our hearts, Prov 4:23. Today we resist the drift toward trial separations or disposable vows by remembering God's hatred of divorce. Public policy aside, the believer's first line of defense is a covenant anchored in divine wisdom. Our children become godly offspring when they see covenant love modeled, not merely preached. Tears at the altar must flow from brokenness over sin, not from frustration at unmet demands. Offerings only rise as genuine incense when our lives mirror sacrificial love at home. God's justice and mercy converge here. He judges treachery yet equips us to remain loyal. The curse on mixed marriages and capricious divorce underlines that love covers a multitude of sins. 1 Pet 4-8, when it's genuine. Our prayer: write us for those who fear you and who meditate on your name. Mal 3:16, begins by honoring every covenant. Next we'll trace how God preserves a faithful remnant and calls all his children to covenant true living in Malachi 3.